In this session, we are going to see our second topic, ways of creating objects. In our previous session, we have understood what are objects and also we have seen the basic examples. Now in this, we will see how to create objects. So we will be starting with this, ways of creating object. And in this, I'm just going to show you two ways of creating object. First is using object literal and second is using the new keyword. One by one we will see this one and we are going to see this practically as well. First, let's talk about object literal. Now, creating a single object using the object literal. Now, this is nothing but when we are creating object, inside that we will be having key value pair. Okay, that is name value and those are separated by colon. And when we are giving second property, that will be separated by comma. In our previous session, we have already seen what are properties and what are methods. If you have not understood, no problem. Still, there are plenty of things which has to be learnt in objects. Okay, this is how we will be creating object. This is using object literal. Okay, simple way. We are just creating one variable. We will open this curly braces. Inside this, we will pass this name value pair. This first name is the name and this Kaiser is the value. And this value, it is a string. So I have enclosed in double quotes. So here also I just have to enclose in double quotes. And this is the favorite number. And for this I have given the value as number. So for this, I don't have to wrap in single quotes or double quotes. And this name, whatever you can see, this can either be a simple string or this can also be a number. Okay, you can wrap inside double quotes, but it is not mandatory. If you don't wrap, then also no problem. Okay, this is how we are going to create object. And the same object, if I just write like this in separate lines, then also it will be fine. Okay, there will not be any issue. You can either write in single line or you can just write in this way. Okay, it completely depends on your choice, which you have to follow. Okay, this will be taking only one line of space, but this will be covering multiple lines. But for readability, this second method will be very useful. So I always suggest this second method. And also when we are creating object, we can directly create empty object. That is, let my data is equal to only curly braces. Without giving any data, I can just create empty objects. And after that, I can add the properties. You can say I can create this empty object and after this I can just add this kind of properties. Now let's see practically this one. I will open VS Code editor. Inside this I have created object.js. Let me just write one comment, objects, and below this I will be writing object literal. Object literal. Now usually why we are using this object is, suppose if I just give a basic example. Now, in this Bollywood, we are having plenty and plenty of songs. And for each song, we are having separate director, lyricist, singer. We are having plenty of people. For each particular song, if I start creating variables, it will be very, very difficult. Now, if I just create one variable, song, let me just write one song. I will just write here. Okay, चिट्ठी ना कोई संदेश, one song, and I will be creating one more variable. I will just give singer. Singer is Jagjit Singh. Now, if I want another song, then I cannot be creating separate variables for each. This variable should be different. This variable should be different. I cannot do that. Okay, it will be a headache for me because there are millions of songs available. So for that, what we will be doing? we will be creating objects. And inside objects, we can store multiple values. Based on our requirement, whatever values we want to store, we can store inside the object. So that is the main reason objects are very, very useful to store multiple data and to store any kind of data. Let me just write here my data. Okay, I'm just creating one variable. I will open this curly braces. Inside this, I will be giving first name, double quotes. I will give my name. Then we have to separate by comma. I will be writing L name. And inside this, I'm just going to give Khanam. Then here I will be giving favorite number. Let me just write something 6. Okay, this if you wrap in single quotes or double quotes, it's fine. This is how we will be creating simple object. Let my data inside this is the property and this is the value. Whatever things I am having here, those are called as properties. And this is the value. This is string value. So I have wrapped inside double quotes. This is number. So I have not wrapped inside double quotes or single quotes. Now in the same way, for f name, I can pass any data. Here I can pass array. Here I can pass another object. See, whatever. Okay, it depends on my choice. What data I want to print, I can just do that. Now let me show you how to display this. I will be writing console.log, and inside this I will be passing my data. I will save this. You can see this is my result. Inside this I got f name, L name and favorite number. And you can see for each of this I am having the value. And this data, if you see here, they are arranged in ascending order, smaller to bigger. So first here I am having f name, but here after this first I am having fav name because second letter is A. After that I am having N, then here I am having L. It will be arranged in ascending order while displaying the data. Now I don't want to display this entire object. I just want the name Khanam. So for that we will be using dot operator. Inside this I'm just going to write L name. Whatever property we are having, using dot we are just accessing that one. My name dot L name. I will save this. Now I got the result as Khanam. Now one more suggestion is that whenever you are creating object, always create using const keyword. Instead of let, just write here const. Okay, this will be very, very helpful because in objects, multiple and most important data will be stored. So you don't want that data should be changed or you don't want that object should get emptied. So for that, we will be creating object using const keyword. I will save this. Now for this also, I will be getting the same result. Now if I just create one variable, data1 is equal to subject, something I am just giving. Again, if I just create same variable data1, I will be getting error. Some data I am giving. You can see I will be getting error. Cannot redeclare block scope variable data1 because const keyword we have already seen. We cannot redeclare this one. So we will be getting the error and also we cannot change the data. If I just give like this and if I just print here, let me just print console.log and inside this I'm just going to pass here data1. I will save this. I will be getting this error assignment to a constant variable. Once the value is assigned to constant, it is fixed. We cannot change the value. But in objects, what happened? I can add multiple properties inside this one because objects are dynamic in nature and at runtime we can add properties inside this. Now suppose here, let me come. I will be adding my data dot class. Let me just write one data. I will be giving mtech. I will save this. Now here you can see inside this class mtech is added. Before this I am printing this my data. After that I have added this mtech. Even after that this class property is added inside this object. Okay, this is very helpful. We can add the properties inside object even if it is a const keyword. But I cannot redeclare this one. Now suppose if I just write here const my data. Now I cannot empty this one. I will save this. I will be getting error. My data has already been declared. Okay, this is the const variable, my data. Inside that I am having this entire value. So this entire data I cannot change. For this my data, entire data I cannot change. But one by one I can add this properties like that. Now I have added. So this will be added inside this. We won't be getting any error if we add this kind of data because objects are dynamic in nature. Okay, this is very important thing you have to understand. We can access the object properties using dot operator and we can add as many as properties at runtime. So now these are called as properties. Now let's talk about method. Method, as we have already seen, when we give a function, when we define a function, it is called as method. Now in here only, I'm just going to add here. I'll be writing here course. Inside this, I'm just going to create one function, or directly you can just write here function name. I will be writing here course. And inside this, I'm just going to pass. Let me just console.log and inside this my courses. I will save this. Now you can see inside this course here it indicates function and here I am having one course function. Now when I open this here inside this course again I am just going to open. You can see my name is nothing but it is just going to take the function name. Whatever name I have just given directly it is just going to take. Now if I just want to display that one I will come here. Let me copy this. I will be pasting here my data dot course, and for calling function we should always be wrapping inside this one. I will save this. Now I got the result as my courses. First let me just comment this entire thing. Okay, here I am getting the result my courses. Inside this function whatever data I am having I just got the result. We can do in another way also. I will just create one variable data display. And inside this I'm just going to store this one. I will come console.log and inside this let me just write here data display. I will save this. Again I will be getting the same result. Okay, anyway round you can just do that one. Now we have seen about properties, we have seen about methods. Whenever we are giving function definition it is called as method. This is how objects are created using object literal. Now inside this we can pass another object as well. Here I will be creating object. Inside this data let me just write here subject. Anything I'm just giving here. I will save this. Now I just want to access this data. So what I will be doing dot inside this I just have to access favnum. I will save this. You can see inside favname I am having this data subject. Now I just want data. So again dot I will be getting the answer as subject. Whatever data I am having here that will be displayed. Now here I can store array as well. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Separate by comma. I will save this. Now in place of this, let me just write here L name. Now arrays will be accessed using index number. So I will be giving some index number 3. I will save this. I will get the result as 4 because 0, 1, 2, 3. Index number 3, I will be getting the result as 4. Inside object, we can store arrays, we can store objects, we can store strings, we can store functions. Whatever we want, we can just store inside this object. Okay, this is the simple way of creating object. Now let's see about another way of creating object. Okay, creating a single object with a new keyword. Objects are created using this new keyword as well, but for simplicity, we always suggest create object using object literal, because for readability, for accessibility, for execution speed, whatever it is, when it comes to new keyword, it is little bit of slow, but object literals are very fast. So this is how we will be creating new. Inside this, we will give global object. This will be creating empty object for us. And after that, we can just add this kind of data. My data dot, okay, we are just going to add the properties. And you see, we get the same result using object literal and using new keyword as well. But for readability and execution speed, we always use string literal. String literal, you have to focus more because that is very important when it compares to new keyword. New keyword comes into play when we are creating constructor. That is a separate topic. We are going to see about that. But there, new keyword is also important. But when we are using constructor, we will use new keyword there. So let's see practically this one. I will come here. Here I'll be writing new keyword const subject is equal to new. I will be creating global object. Now here I can just write here subject dot marks 1 is equal to 10. Now here I can separate by semicolon. Let me just copy same thing. Marks 2, marks 3, marks 4, 10, 100, 20, 30, and here finally I'm just going to give teacher, subject teacher. Here let me just write Khanam. I will save this. Now if I just display this one, log subject. I will save this. I will open console. You can see entire thing is displayed. Now without this, if I just display subject, I will be getting empty object. This new keyword, what it will do, it will be returning an empty object. And inside this empty object, I am just adding all these properties. Like how we have seen at runtime, we can add multiple properties here. So in the same way, after creating empty object, we are adding all these properties. And after adding, when we display this one, we will be getting entire result. And all this data will be stored inside this subject object. Now if I just want, I just want to display the teacher dot teacher. I will save this. I will get the result as Khanam. Now if I just want to display the marks 1, I will save this. I will get the result as 10. This new object, as I told, it will be creating empty object. That is, it will be pointing to an empty object. and inside that we can add properties. But this is not an efficient way. We will always suggest you to use object literal. When we use constructor functions, factory functions, then you will understand more about object. But this is how we will be creating object. This was very much needed to get started with our further steps. Okay, now we have seen how to create objects using object literal, and also we have seen basic important points. Next session, we are going to learn about properties. We will understand methods and we will learn more deeply about those topics.